Hello world, Lisa Friedrichsen, your friend and computer science professor from Johnson County Community College, with a short screencast welcoming you to the year 2020 and Web 110, HTML5 and CSS3. And given the new decade, according to some, I thought it would be good to make a new welcome YouTube. And the first thing you're going to want to tackle to succeed in this class is to get the correct textbook. And you're looking at it on the screen now. It's a Basics of Web Design, HTML5 and CSS, 5th edition. Make sure you get the 5th edition. It's available from our JCCC bookstore in new, used, rental formats. It's available from the Pearson website in those formats as well as digital ebook. Now, one student has already emailed me and asked about this with access portion. This is the JCCC website telling you about the book that you can buy and all the different prices and the different places where it's available. There is no with access portion of the textbook that you need for the graded purposes in my classroom. I believe that refers to some extra video content that the author has created for her textbook, but we don't use that, at least it's not assigned in my classroom. So as long as you can get this textbook with this number, you'll be in great shape for the class. The second thing you're going to need is some sort of code editor, a place to write your code. And you're looking at Notepad++ right now. That's the code editor that I use to write the HTML, which you can see here in blue, and the content, which is in black, for my HTML CSS class. I've used this code editor a long time. It's very simple, it's free, and I love the color coding. So this is my first code editor of choice. But the one downside to Notepad++ is it only works on a Windows machine. So if you're on a Mac, you're going to want to get brackets or potentially Text Wrangler. If you're a programming student, you might want to try Visual Studio Code. It's got a few more bells and whistles than Notepad++. But if you're already used to working with a complicated IDE, integrated development environment, such as Eclipse or Visual Studio, then Visual Studio Code from Microsoft will probably be a very comfortable environment for you to write your code. I don't care what code editor you use, but you are going to have to pick one, download it, and use it throughout the class to write your code. Third, I'm going to want you to check Canvas at JCCC very frequently. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run this web page. Here I've coded it, and let's run it. Let's launch it in Chrome. That you're going to need a browser in the class to display your web pages. But I'm not even going to put a browser on my list because we know all machines have built-in browsers. But you're welcome to use Safari if you're on a Mac, or Firefox, or even Edge if you want on a Windows machine. The third thing I have on my list is that I want you to check Canvas at JCCC very frequently. I'm recommending at least 3 times a week. And so let's just go to jccc.edu and let's log in to Canvas. Canvas is what you call an LMS, Learning Management System. It's what we've chosen at JCCC to support all of our classes. When you log into Canvas, you'll see one of these big tiles for every class that you're in. So I see these 6 tiles because these are the 6 classes I'm teaching this semester. 3 Web 110s, which is HTML and CSS, 2 JavaScripts, and then a JavaScript 2 class. And so if you're watching this video, you're probably in one of these Web 110 classes. They're all the same. So I'm going to click on one of the tiles to show you what it looks like once you get inside the class. You get this second toolbar, and the home link is the most important one because it always takes you back to the beginning. But for my classes, I try to make it very modular, and I try and put dates on everything so you can really see where you're at. Class officially starts on 1/23/20, although I'm opening up the class shell a little earlier than that to allow you time to get used to Canvas, particularly if this is your first class at JCCC or first class with Canvas. And I want you to do these 4 things. I want you to click on the Getting Started link and look at some YouTubes and resources. I want you to introduce yourself in this discussion thread. I want you to download the student files, which is a zip file. All the student files for the entire book are in this zip file. So as you go through the exercises in the book, I'll give you a starter file. I'll give you the images in the zip file, and then you'll add some new content or some new code to those files to get the result in the book. And then I always provide at least one link for questions about that area. So if we look at this first link, getting started, YouTubes and resources, there are some links. This first one's my homepage, which shows you all of the YouTubes and resources for this class and my JavaScript classes and some old classes that I used to teach. And so if at any time you want to look at a YouTube, whether we're talking about that during that week or not, you can come here and look through all of the topics that I have little short YouTubes on. They're all 5 to 10 minutes long, and learn about that item, whether we're at that spot in the class or not. Sometimes it's nice to go back, in reverse order and review a YouTube that we had a couple weeks ago that you want to revisit. If I go back to Canvas, that's this first link, a link to all my YouTubes and resources. And then the one that I really want you to watch for this first week is this Getting Started link. It will give you more information about how I use Canvas, and I made it in fall 2018. These other YouTubes cover the 9 objectives in the class, so they are really the entire course, and you can look at those at your leisure. Let's go back to home and see the other links in this first week. Introduce yourself. It's a discussion thread. The download for the zip files that you'll want to organize, and then any questions about the syllabus, which is its own link, or getting started. Now, this first week is particularly full. Not only will you complete these getting started activities, you'll also complete these 4 activities, which will support you in getting your first project done. And so your first week, you'll be looking at these YouTubes and resources support chapter 1, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different YouTubes that I want you to watch that support the material for chapter 1. Inherent to this is that you read chapter 1, and then these 5 YouTubes will prioritize and debrief you on the really important things that I wanted you to learn out of chapter 1. I also provide a link every week for questions and comments. So let's say you've read chapter 1, you've gone through these 5 YouTubes, and you have questions or comments. This is the place to post them. After you've done these 2 things, you'll want to take quiz 1. It will be covering the material of chapter 1. These quizzes are multiple choice, open book, open note, untimed, but you can only take them once, so be prepared before you click that quiz link. And then there's a 10-point project. It's the Hello World project, and you should be able to complete that after reading chapter 1 and going through these 5 YouTubes and asking me any questions or comments on material that remains unclear. There's no rocket science here, but there are a lot of little baby steps, and the material is cumulative. So it's really important that you do every single little hands-on exercise inside each chapter. The last 2 items that I have on my list are to download the data files, to do all the hands-on exercises within each chapter, and to create folders to organize your work. You already know about the data files. That's this link here, the zip file. You'll merely click that link, which will download the data files in a zipped format, probably to your downloads folder. I'm on a Windows machine here, and that's where all my downloads go by default. So you'll end up with this web110-studentfiles.zip file on your machine. You'll open it up by double-clicking it, and then you'll see that there's a student files folder. Inside the student files folder is another student files folder, and within that are chapter 1 through 12 folders for all the data files in the book. We actually just go through chapters 1 through 10 in the class, but I provided an 11 and 12 just in case somebody wants to go on after the class. But you'll take those starter files, and I would copy them and put them someplace handy, like on my desktop. I'm going to right-click New and create a new folder. I'm going to call it Web 110, and then paste all those chapter folders into that Web 110 folder on my desktop so that I have an organized place to work with those files. Not all of these files will be used for homework, but all of them will be used for the little hands-on practice exercises within each chapter that I highly recommend you sit at your keyboard and you key. Because if you do those hands-on exercises inside the chapter, you are well prepared for what I assign as homework. If you skip the little hands-on exercises in the chapter because you're reading that chapter and you say, oh, this makes sense to me, I guarantee you will be robbing yourself of valuable foundational knowledge. By the time we start layering in our second language, CSS, in Chapter 4, and by the time we start using it for some advanced techniques such as multiple columns on a web page and responsive web design in Chapter 8, so that our web page looks great on a phone or a tablet or a computer, by the time we get to those later chapters, if you do not have a super solid foundation, both in terminology and in concepts, the wheels can start to fall off quickly. So I implore you to go slowly and methodically through all the hands-on exercises in each chapter. You'll be ready for your hands-on homework that's assigned for points in the class website then. And then I will grade those projects quickly, give you feedback. You'll have a place to ask questions and comments every week in case anything doesn't make sense. And I again encourage you to ask questions at the first opportunity that you can, because this is cumulative material. So it's to your credit and to your benefit to ask a question about something that doesn't make complete sense as soon as possible. Thank you for listening to this YouTube. Now go back to the Getting Started YouTube and watch this one that I created back in fall of 2018. And I think it will layer in even more tips and techniques for how to use Canvas. Thank you, good luck, and I look forward to a great semester.